Hello and welcome to Art Song Notes. My name is Cara Alfano. Today we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite English art songs, and that is Silent Noon by Ralph Vaughan Williams with text by Dante, Gabriel, Rossetti. I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the song and how it originated. I'm going to talk a little bit about the text and its meaning and the compositional structure of the song, and then I'll leave you with some helpful hints to aid you in your practice of this beautiful English gem. So as I mentioned before, the text, or the poetry of Silent Noon, was written by Dante Gabriel Rossetti, and it is one of 103 sonnets that is found in this collection, The House of Life. Now, Silent Noon is the 19th sonnet in this collection. And by the way, if you love British poetry like I do, please pick yourself up a copy of The House of Life. You will not regret it. Now, Rossetti published this collection in 1881, but then in 1903, Vaughan Williams chose 6 sonnets from this collection and put them together into a song cycle, also entitled The House of Life. Silent Noon is the second song in the song cycle, and the themes of the song cycle, The House of Life, is that of the physical and deep emotional involvement of a romantic love and the recognition of the inevitability of death. The poem Silent Noon is written in the Italian sonnet format, and I'm going to put the text up here on the screen with the rhyming scheme next to it. Now, I'm going to take a moment and read through the whole poem so that you can see the rhyming scheme, but also sometimes by hearing the poetry apart from the music or by reading the poetry apart from the music, you can get a different perspective on the meaning of the words, and that can help influence how you are eventually going to sing the song. So here we go with the text. Your hands lie open in the long, fresh grass. The finger points look through like rosy blooms. Your eyes smile peace. The pasture gleams and glooms 'neath billowing skies that scatter and amass. All round our nest, far as the eye can pass, are golden kingcup fields with silver edge, where the cow parsley skirts the hawthorn hedge. 'Tis visible silence, still as the hourglass. Deep in the sun-searched growths, the dragonfly hangs like a blue thread loosened from the sky. So this winged hour is dropped to us from above. Oh, clasp we to our hearts for deathless dower, this close companioned, inarticulate hour, when twofold silence was the song of love. There is so much beauty to unpack here when it comes to the meaning of the text. I could take a really long time talking about it, but instead I'll just try to point out some highlights. So the poem opens with a couple lying on a countryside field. The lover is comparing his beloved's fingers to rosy blooms that peek up through the grass and noting that the beloved's eyes smile peace. This is a moment of sheer perfection, and the lovers are surrounded by the magic of nature as they take in the beauty of kingcup flowers and cow parsley that skirts the hawthorn hedge, and they note how a dragonfly just seems to be suspended from air. Now, just a side note, if you don't know what a kingcup flower or a hawthorn leaf or cow parsley or a dragonfly looks like, please take a few moments and Google them and take a look at some pictures of them, because that's going to help you when it comes to interpreting this song. Now, like all magical moments, there is the acknowledgement of the finite nature of it. And we see that displayed through the phrases, the pasture gleams and glooms 'neath billowing skies, and the phrase, 'tis visible silence, still as the hourglass. Now, what's so important about this idea of the still hourglass? Well, let's talk about this. An hourglass is only still, meaning the sands in the hourglass are only still when the sands have gone from the top of the hourglass down to the bottom, signifying that time is up. Well, the time is about to be up on this perfect moment for the lovers. There's also this other beautiful phrase, "Oh, clasp we to our hearts for deathless dower." So this is the idea of the lovers wanting to hang on to this moment of perfection, and that they acknowledge that they are endowed with this gift or this dower without the necessity of death preceding it. Now, the word dower means it's an inheritance that is a result of a husband's death. So this moment of perfection is a perfect gift from above, and it's fleeting, as we see in the line, "So this winged hour is dropped to us from above." Well, now that we've gone through some of the highlights of the meaning of the poetry, we're going to take a few minutes and look at the compositional structure of Silent Noon. Silent Noon is in 4 parts and may be labeled as A, B, C, A prime. The C section is quasi-recitative, allowing the singer a bit of freedom when it comes to interpreting the tempo as determined by how the meaning of the words should be delivered. It allows for the feeling of suspension of time as the singer describes the delicate dragonfly suspended in air. The song was originally in E flat major, but it is sometimes performed in F major. The tempo is largo sostenuto, so it should never be rushed through. Largo means broadly or slowly, and sostenuto means sustained. This is very fitting for singing about a moment that begs to never end. So now let me give you some vocal technique tips to help aid you in your practicing of Silent Noon. Number 1, read through the text 5 to 10 times apart from the music. Now I know I did this for you already at the beginning of the video, but please do it again by yourself anyways. And in fact, this is something I recommend that you do for every song that you study, but especially for this song because the poetry is so rich, the imagery is so compelling, and the word pairings are so interesting. We have word pairings like visible silence and deathless dower, words that you would never think normally to put together. So really take the time to ponder the meaning of the words without the influence of the music. Number 2, be careful how to approach the word amass, as it could get stuck in your throat while you are singing it. Keep the vowel tall and feel as if you are approaching the pitch from the top down. Number 3, in the B section where it is marked piano and pianissimo, don't let the core come out of your voice in order to try to sing the pitches quietly. You may want to practice this section on lip trills to train your muscles as to how to keep the breath support steady while singing this very tender passage. Number 4, when learning the quasi-recitative section, first learn the rhythm in strict time. Once you feel comfortable with the note values, then you can allow for the stretching of the tempo based on how you want to sing those words. And lastly, number 5. Okay, I know that the high note on the word song towards the end of the piece is marked pianissimo, but don't worry too much about singing it softly. Instead, sing it sweetly and with confidence so that you can really use the fermata to your emotional advantage. Well, thank you so much for joining me here at Art Song Notes today. Please check out some of the other videos here on this channel, and of course I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Until next time, happy singing.